Hi, my name is Faith DeLuca, and today I will be talking about reducing the impact your business has on the environment. When you look at these pictures, what do you see? I think that a lot of people don't see how harmful single-use plastics are on the environment. When we go out to eat something ever, majority of the time, if it's takeout, if it's fast food, if it's something quick, we're going to be offered or given single-use plastics, and we don't think twice about it because it's convenient. We're used to it. We need to make small changes by reducing our single-use plastics and other small things that are being harmful to the environment in order to keep our oceans clean, to keep our landfills less filled, and to overall help heal our planet from the destruction that we've already done. So, what are some changes we can make in our daily office habits? So the first thing that we can do is reduce our single-use plastics waste. Like I said, it is really important that we start doing this. The Ocean Conservancy estimated a whopping 8 million metric tons of plastic enters our blue planet's marine waters annually. The utensils claimed a spot among the top 10 collected pieces of trash at the 2018 cleanup. In just one day, volunteers removed close to 2 million single-use plastics, such as forks, knives, and spoons from waterways around the globe. This is a huge issue. We need to make an effort and recognize that even small single-use plastics have a huge impact on the environment, and majority of the times, when not recycled properly, not thrown away properly, end up in waterways around the globe, harming wildlife, harming our oceans. The second thing, single-use versus reusable coffee cups. So 16 billion single-use coffee cups are used annually. One coffee cup for every 5 days equals 260 coffee cups per person. If you think about this in a business office environment, majority of the time people drink coffee, majority of the time they're using single-use coffee cups, and majority of the time they're doing it 5 days a week. If you add that up times the millions of people who work in offices and businesses, that's a lot of single-use coffee cup waste. That's ruining trees, that's ruining the environment, that's polluting the waterways. This graph goes to show the single-use coffee cup versus how much paper cups of coffee we use per year. So the second small thing that we can change in our daily habits are our printing habits. I think that on a daily basis, we should think of the phrase, do you really need to print that? Do I really need to print this 20-page article that I'm just gonna write notes on? Can I keep it on my computer and make small markup edits and notes? Do I really need to print that? And if I do need to print that, can I print it double-sided? Can I print it with smaller font? These are small things that we can start doing to help reduce environmental waste. The University of Southern Indiana states Americans use 85 million tons of paper a year, and that equals out to about 680 pounds per year per person. Each ton of recycled paper can save 17 trees, 380 gallons of oil, 3 cubic yards of landfill space, 4,000 kilowatts of energy, and 7,000 gallons of water. This represents 64% energy savings, 58% water savings, and 60 pounds less of air pollution. This is a huge thing that I think if we start advocating for, do you really need to print that, we can help reduce environmental waste. The third and final small thing I think that we can change and think about is hand-me-down technology. Hand-me-down technology may not be as popular, it may not be something that people think about very often. Everyone in our society wants what's new, what's fastest, what's most popular, what's the best system. And within business, there are different positions within a business that need different levels of technology. But we also need to think about the fact that this technology once we decide to get rid of it, regardless or not if it should be gotten rid of, if it's actually broken, if it's just slightly slower, if you are simply wanting something better instead of what you have, even if it works, you're in essence harming the environment. And I think that we can take small steps in order to reduce our impact on the environment and be mindful of the technology that we can either hand down, reuse, recycle in different ways. So and factually, Tech Republic says to reduce the load on already overtaxed landfills and to avoid sending hazardous materials to those landfills when we don't recycle them properly, that can in turn leach into the environment. Old systems, supplies can be reused, repurposed, and recycled. Like I said, Tech Republic says that, and I think a lot of people should advocate for that more. So my solution to single-use plastics is reusable silverware and mugs and things that we use on a daily basis consistently, especially regarding food. When I was referring to single-use plastics, I was talking about silverware and coffee cups and things of that regard that we use on a daily basis within an office setting. These reusable utensil silverware sets are widely available. You can get them for under $15 and you can reuse them hundreds to thousands of times. They are small, they are compact, they fit, and they help reduce our effect on the environment a lot. And that also correlates with mugs. A lot of people have reusable mugs, but when we go to Starbucks, when we go to small coffee shops, normally we don't do that. The only time we reuse is when we're making our coffee at home, making our tea at home, etc., etc. We can ask coffee cups and other coffee shops and other places to put our drinks into reusable mugs and cups and stuff. And if we start doing that, we're going to significantly reduce our single-use coffee cup in general waste. That ends up in landfills, ends up ruining trees, ends up harming the environment, ends up in the ocean. Another alternative that we can consider with single-use plastics is compostable plastic or compostable silverware and utensils. This is kind of a newer technology, but if you're a business owner, you're a manager, and you want to do your part in reducing environmental waste, it is not difficult and it is a little bit more expensive to go out of your way to buy compostable silverware, utensils. They even have cups and stuff in that regard that will eventually compost into the environment, are made of plant sources, and are not harmful. And although they're a little bit more expensive, this will overall reduce your impact on the globe, and you will do your part as a citizen on this earth. My second solution are your printing habits. Like I said earlier, think of the phrase and instill it within your office. Do you really need to print that? Do you really need to print that? There are hundreds and thousands of trees that are cut down annually, cut down on a daily basis. And if we just put it in the back of our minds on a daily basis, do I really need to print that? We can reduce so much waste. Majority of the time, we do not need to print it. With the technology that we have nowadays, we can make notes online, everything can be transferred online, and overall, we can just reduce the amount of trees and things that are cut down. You do not want to be that person, if you don't have to, that uses 680 pounds of paper per year. That's a lot, and simply by putting something on your computer that you're already using on a daily basis, making notes, adjusting to this newer way of life that a lot of us already live, where technology is super prominent, I think that we can help reduce our printing habits, our use of paper, etc., etc. My final solution is hand-me-down technology. Hand-me-down technology is not necessarily a new concept, but I think that it's brushed over very often, and people don't think about it a lot. You may throw away your old printers, you may throw away your old computers because you don't know how to recycle, where to recycle it. Does it need to be recycled? You don't think about these things. There are tons of examples where we can simply repurpose an item, we can recycle an item to still have use or to properly dispose of it. There are tons of organizations and companies that will repurpose computers, and a lot of times within a office space, there are different levels in which people need different degrees of technology. This level may need the top, most efficient, fastest technology, but someone in a different branch, different area of the same company may only need something that works for Excel spreadsheets, that works for something a lot simpler and slower, doesn't necessarily need this high level of technology. So even within your company, you can think about repurposing this technology that eventually is going to get old, that this person who needs a new technology is going to eventually have to get rid of, and you could repurpose it to someone who needs that computer for a different use that isn't necessarily as fast, isn't necessarily as efficient, but gets the job done. Another way is you can also repurpose it and give it to schools and organizations that are teaching technology within classrooms, but they don't need the fastest. They just need to have the opportunity to use a computer, even if it's slow, to get used to it, to acclimate to our changing society that is completely being run by technology at this point now. And so if we think about the fact that we can donate to schools, if we can donate to lesser privileged people who could use this technology for the better instead of just throwing it away, we can have a huge positive impact on the environment. We can also benefit people in many ways. If that isn't the case, if this is completely, you can't reuse it, you can't repurpose it, always recycle it properly. That is super vital to helping the environment and not just throwing away into a landfill and having those harmful chemicals and technological parts leach into the environment and harm it further than we already have. So simple changes in habits can make a huge impact. I think that although this is a daunting task, that if we as a society around the globe implement these three small things within our daily office habits, we can all together make a huge impact on reducing our harm to the environment. Thank you.